New York, all my niggas. Yo. Welcome back to the newest episode of New York Noise, the newest audio and visual podcast meant to highlight up-and-coming underground NYC rappers. Well, and technically now with today's episode, we'll be featuring our first, solely producer. And we have a very special guest in the building today. We have MIR02.
No, that shit.
He has been a collaborator of a lot of people that we have featured on this show. You've definitely heard his beats. You've definitely heard that beat tag. You definitely know who he is. But what we want to do is give you like a behind the scenes into the entire process that kind of creates the mystery that is MIR02. Feel me?
Yeah.
So first, really excited to have you here. Feel me? Like a lot of people have been talking about you as an influence, even in our past interviews.
Right.
People have cited you're at the top tier of beat making, and some niggas don't want any other beats but MIR02 beats.
Thank you.
So I think before that, I just want to take it back, like, you feel me, like all the way back. Even though we're all young, but into just the beginning process. First, like, where are you from? Where have you grown up?
I'm from Crown Heights, Brooklyn, New York. Broward Park to be exact.
Shout out Broward Park, yeah.
So growing up there, it was like I had a mix, like growing up, like I was always a skater kid, so like I would stay away from like the hood type shit. But growing up, me getting older, me seeing it more, so it kind of influenced like the way I move. So the way I move and the regular streets is kind of the same way how I move in like with different music. So like the way I move with artists and shit like that.
What do we say, like in terms of like loyalty and
for real,
like that?
So like my loyalty to like Choppy, shout out Choppy, for real. And like the rest of 360, it's kind of like me, growing up seeing how.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
And while growing up in Broward Park, did you grow up around a lot of music? Like, was that heavy in your childhood?
Yeah. Growing up, like my dad was actually a producer like during the 90s. He was doing his thing for real. So growing up, and he would show me like music videos that he was in, like songs he produced. So growing up, I always knew that was what his passion was.
Yeah.
So he just showed me what that type of thing is. Like he showed me what music production was, and it just took off from there.
And were you interested at a young age in terms of getting onto that kind of wave, onto start making music, start doing this, or kind of was it a thing later in life?
Nah, I started making like my first few beats in like 4th grade.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's 4th grade. And because my older brother actually, shout out Nas.
Yeah, we're gonna get it.
Yeah, for real. He got a computer and he got Logic Express on it. So I started making beats on Logic Express, and then my dad got a machine, and then I've been using a machine since like 5th grade.
That's crazy. So like, you weren't even on like just some computer shit. You were really in it.
Yeah, I was really in
that music stuff. And obviously with the influences from your dad and your brother, and once you start to start making more and more music, did you expect it, like what was your expectation at that time? Were you kind of just doing it for fun, or did you want to take it seriously at that moment?
Yeah, I didn't even want to be a music producer at first. Yeah, I want to be so many different things, like, for me. So music was like the least of my priority, but it was something that I did. It was something to pass time. You feel me? So, so I was even trying to be a producer. So me trying to make it somewhere now is kind of weird. It's kind of also like
strange feeling, right?
Very strange. But I'm accepting it now.
I feel you.
Yeah.
And so when did that kind of shift begin? What were the events in your life that led to that? Like, I'm doing this for fun. I don't really know if I want to take this seriously. To all right, I'm nice. Like, let me take this.
It was me starting to get credits. It was me starting, it was people really starting to look at me as like a real producer, because like when I was younger, people would like entertain me as like a producer, because I was little, young.
Yeah.
But now growing up and now having my skills be at where they are for me, now people are taking me serious, and I was like, okay, so I can really do something with this.
Yeah, I feel you, and I can. Funny you brought up your brother, right? We interviewed Choppy recently, and he said that your brother is like one of those early like 360 members that definitely influenced him. So I'm assuming that you guys have a close relationship, and I've seen it also just like by checking out your Instagram and all that you guys are very tight knit. What can you say how did he influence you in terms of musically when you were younger, or even now?
Well, that's just growing up in the same household as him. Me seeing what he does, how he moves, and especially with the music he was creating at a very young age, at my age now. That was the goal when I was younger, is to just produce for my brother. Like that was the goal. So now, me and my brother have a very tight-knit relationship, just not even just based on music, just based on, just us being brothers, but we're able to experience more love because of the music we share. Is that how you first began to become affiliated and kind of start making music, be in the studio with like 360? Yeah, for real. Yeah. My brother and Choppy were are good friends, and the first time I met Choppy, actually, he came over to the crib and was just working on mad music with my brother, and then I guess Choppy knew that I made beats or whatever the case may be, so we've always been tight since then. And so since the beginning of 360, like I was always like in it, I was always around it, and then they just embraced me as one of them. I mean, if you have the talent to match it up, like for real, keep continue to work. And would you say at that moment, right at the birth of you starting to produce music, what were your musical influences? Like, what were you listening to certain things that inspired your beat making, or kind of how was the process? Yeah, when I was like smaller, like little, I used to listen to a lot of Lil Wayne, and also like me getting older, I started listening to different types of music, like MIR02. Pharrell is a great influence, a very big influence in my music. But who else did I listen to? I listened to a lot of Drake at that time. I listened to a lot of Kanye West, of course, stuff like that. So stuff very melodic. I got you. And did you kind of use similar elements in that in your early remakes? Did you want to emulate, or were you kind of like, I'm going to combine a lot of these things and trying to how did you go to curate your own sound? So when I first started making beats, I started making like boom bap type beats, right? Because that was what I grew up listening to with my father. So that was what I was familiar with. But growing up and starting to use different sounds and use different drum patterns and stuff like that, it's a mix of everything. So I got you. And so then you began to like, I'm sure you've had songs on the cloud that have been deleted and a variety of things, but right now, if someone was to be put onto your SoundCloud and they would go see your earliest song, it'd be up there like the Fragile Radio episode, right? And Face with Trizzy Flacco, right? Yeah, for real. So one, I listened to that Fragile Radio episode, and I believe it's like you cutted that and like that kind of on some DJ shit kind of. Is that something you're interested in as well, like the DJ aspect of things besides just producing? I really want to start getting into that. I want to start doing parties, and I want to eventually be able to throw my own like show, and just have just be DJing myself and just have myself be the main attraction during that show. And so, what was the inspiration for the Fragile Radio episode? It was just me trying something new, trying to do like mixes. So I found the songs that I listen to the most, or not even like me listening to the most, like stuff like songs that I enjoy like a lot, and I just try to make it flow throughout like probably like a 40-50 minute playlist. That's fire. And that's a good way, and it also gives you experience of listening to a bunch of sounds and cutting and certain things. When you're creating, take us like behind the process of a typical like MIR02 beat. Like, do you have like a structured process for making them, or is it kind of each one is different? For the most part, I start with my melodies, because that's like, I feel like the drums are cool, and I have the drums down like on pack, but the melody is really what catches my ear when I listen to a lot of different music. So I try to perfect melodies in most of my beats, but sometimes there's beats where I start with the drum pattern, try to find a melody around it. I'll probably start with 808s. To probably like start with the melody around the 808s. It can be different, but most of the time I start with my melodies.
Got you. And when so I say the melodies are the one thing that jumps out at you the most.
Yeah.
Who's like what producers early that did you? I mean, besides you named like Pharrell, Kanye, but what if there are any others, and what about those producers in their like sound did you gravitate so much toward and like that inspired you?
One producer that I still love to this day is Zaytoven. Zaytoven, just his ability, to play the piano, and also do that, like his Atlanta sound. Like he pioneered such a crazy sound that people use today, and people still are gonna use it for the next 10, 20 years. So Zaytoven, definitely one of them. Who else? I guess like the generic answer would be Metro Boomin, just because of the hits he been making. Who else? Who else can I name? Sony Digital. Sony Digital is
be sleeping on something.
Yeah, for real. Sony Digital is a great producer. And then it'd be like more local producers like Choppy or Alao. Shout out Alao. And Tony Seltzer. Like those are producers that like I really like look up to and like admire the most.
I feel you. Yeah, definitely. So then we get to Face, right, with Trizzy Flacco. So what was that kind of the inspiration for the content of that beat, or like the sound? What sound were you trying to curate on that?
So he hit me was like how he needed something like very, very like grimy type beat, and I usually don't make those type of beats. I usually try to like stick on like the happier side, but I tried it out, and he wanted like bells and stuff like that. So and he wanted like a Cardi type feel, like so
kind of a Pierre type beat.
Type. So I just tried to curate the best beat I could for Trizzy, and we got it done.
Yeah, definitely some fire. And then we move on to Sad Trish, and this is like one that I think for people who, let's say, have not known you before and want to listen to you, that song immediately stands out, right? It's like a posse cut, like it's just mad heads coming all spinning 5 verses on one track, but the beat is also one thing that remains consistent throughout the whole thing. What was your process creating that?
So with that beat, I did the melody and I did like different parts of the drum pattern that you hear on Sad Trish, and I sent it to Choppy. Like I sent all the stems to Choppy, and he reworked it, did some new stuff to it, and made it sound the way it sounds. But that was an interesting beat just off like the sound. Like it was very different, and it wasn't like anything I ever made before.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that it challenged also them to rap like a
certain way. Yeah, for real.
And I think that was a really dope way to do all that. And one thing also just seeing on your cloud is that a lot of producers wouldn't drop their music, like wouldn't drop songs. You know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of producers would just have songs featured on someone else's tape, but you take go out of your way to kind of drop a track featuring other people. Is that a cognitive decision you made?
Yeah, that's I try to get some of the best songs I produce, and either like give it to the artist to drop it themselves. But if they're not really feeling it, and if I'm feeling it like a lot, or if it's like a mutual decision between me and the artist, then we drop.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So it's like, alright, have you thought about ever, maybe curating a tape or like doing something like that?
Yeah, O2 Universe real soon.
Oh, I hear. We don't get into that in a bit. I feel you. So then after Sad Trish, we have songs that something with your brother, right? So you have like Stars in the Wraith, and then you have Lifetime, right? And Lifetime's another one of those songs that's kind of like immediately off rips a banger, and like you can tell just from the way Trizzy comes in and then splits, but that whole beat the whole time, it's like something that people remember in that song. Is that so? As you said, if melodies are the most important part for you, is that kind of what you strive to do, to leave that everybody remembering that little stays?
So pretty much with that beat, in particular, like I try to make the melodies very like basic, because I was gonna put like basic drums on it, so I wanted to make it like, you know, simple could sometimes be the best, so I wanted to make it as simple as possible, so then Tristan and Spliff could be the highlight of the song.
I feel you. When you're looking for collaborators, right? Does your process change? So is it like, would you just send artists beat packs, or do you kind of wait and make a beat catered specifically to an artist?
Kinda like I kind of make beats, and then like depending on the beat, I'd be like, oh, I hear blah 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 on this, or I hear whoever on this. Like that's usually how I go by. I don't really try and like make certain artist producer packs. Beat packs, because then you have to try and cater to their sound. And it's a lot of stress around that. But I like to just make lots of beats and then see who fits on that.
I feel you. Yeah. That works that way. And so those are just like the songs that you've dropped. But you also have a variety of features, right? And I think some of your most successful beats in terms of, let's say, plays-wise or reception have been on some of those features, right? So off rip, you have Mountain with Choppy, which is like a very, I don't think if people were to listen to Your Cloud already, and then they were to hear Mountain, it's a kind of different type of vibe, different type of kind of feeling with the song, right? It almost has very like Kid Cudi-esque type vibe. Yeah. So
it's funny that you mentioned that, because that was what I was trying to go for. Yeah.
So is that something that you? How did you create that?
It was actually for someone else, but they didn't really mess with it like that. So I played it around Choppy, I think, or I sent it to him or something like that, and then the Mountains came out of it.
And just like some kind of regular shit like that. And then of course Tonight, which is one of Choppy's biggest songs in terms of reception. Is that a similar type of process behind?
I actually made that for him. Like, it was one of those things where like I'm just making the beat, and I hear Choppy on this for real. So that's a similar type of thing.
Word. And even so, how old are you?
I'm 15.
And that's one thing I think niggas need to understand. That there's a lot of people that have been doing this for years and years and years.
Can't do it.
And they can't do it. And my son is really 15 doing stuff. So I think that's something. So you're still in school, obviously.
Yeah.
You're still very, very young compared to most people, and even some of the artists that you're working with, right? How do you balance all that? Because it's not like you have, unlimited time to just sit down and make
music. Not at all. It get hard. It really get hard. Like, especially like during school, where I have to, dedicate a lot of time to like getting my shit done for school, trying to, get the grades to go to college and pass my regents and all that other shit. Yeah. So, you just have to find the balance, which I think I perfected the balance.
And I definitely think that maintaining both those, like having that school and that educational background and that foundation is also important too. Yeah.
Right.
But does it ever? I mean, as you said, it is about finding the balance. But do you ever think it gets in the way sometimes? Because in terms of your process, does it force you to be structured?
Yeah, it gets in the way because I don't think anyone really likes schoolwork.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so there's definitely times where I'm like doing homework or something, or like a project, and I'm just thinking to myself like I could really be making beats right now. But you win some, you lose some. You have to sacrifice certain times to make beats in order to do what you have to do for school, because school is a very important thing.
Yeah. And so being kind of very young in comparison to a lot of the people that you're around, and getting the chance to be in front of people who are doing great things like A-Loud, right, or like Chop, or like your brother and a lot of these people, do you ever feel moments of, I don't want to say, do you ever feel like they're holding you to a higher standard because you're kind of very, very young and already doing at such a high level?
Not necessarily. I feel like a lot of different people hold me to a lower standard because I'm that young. So like when they hear my age and then when they hear the music I make, they're blown away because of my age. Feel me? So that's really how I like to go about it. Like I like to tell people my age first and then show them what I'm able to do.
Get them to have that expectation and kind of to blow them away. And I mean, I know it's kind of like a crazy question because you're already you're young, but do you feel like you've progressed so far? I mean, in terms of just creating beats, and do you think where's your musical evolution at?
Every other time or every few times I make a beat, I hear the progress. I can hear it like perfectly. Yeah. Especially going from 4th grade 02, just now going to 11th grade. I'm really hearing the progress every few beats I make, and it's very evident. It's very noticeable.
Whoa, where's the name MIR02 come from? Take us behind that.
So MIR02 is so my middle name is Amir, and the year I was born in 2002. So I just cut the A off. Yeah, I just put the 02 on the back of
something that's stuck.
Yeah.
And I always wonder, what was the process between finding a producer tag? Because that's something that people remember about your beat specifically. And if you look at successful people like Pierre or Metro,
the producer tag solid.
Yeah.
So, Choppy texted me. I texted Choppy actually, and I said, "Yo, I need a producer tag. Is there any way you can help me out?" And finding one, creating one. And he was like, "You should find a video of Drake saying 02." And I was like, "All right, I'll try it out." So pretty much what I did was I looked up Drake performing in the O2 Arena. Yeah. And found the video. He said O2 in it.
That's crazy.
Cut it, and put my little spin on it. And then that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, and it works. That's something that definitely sticks. Yeah. And then if we're going, continuing with your process, continuing with your evolution of music, most recently Wraith was dropped with Justo. And the 360 Lonnie, shout out both of them, Free Justo.
Nah, for real, Free Justo.
That song, I think, is back to your straight, just bangers, straight. I'm trying to have a beat that slaps and a beat that people are gonna remember for a long time. Something about a good time. Does your beats and the sound of your beats ever change depending on what's going on in your life? Is that kind of how you get inspiration for sounds?
I feel like certain moments in my life make me go harder, make me go make me focus more and hone in on my crafts, and there's been times stuff has been stressful or hard, and I just make music and I'd be zoned in, just zoned in, just making 3-4 beats a night, and that's a real way to think about it, bro.
And so recently there's been, I don't want to say beef, but there's been some controversy between a lot of famous producers and artists, in the sense that certain producers feel like they don't get enough credit for the amount of what they do, and especially now with what people call mumble rap and a variety of these new niggas. The beat is probably the most important part of the song. That's the one part that gets people going. Do you feel like the producers right now are underappreciated?
Yeah, of course. I feel like the producers are super underappreciated. We crown and celebrate these rappers. Excuse me. We crown and celebrate these rappers for making these songs, but I don't think anyone's listening to an acapella Lil Uzi Vert song. You need a Pierre Bourne, you need a Molly Rock, you need those type of producers, and the fact that they're only credited and paid and not getting a portion of the limelight is kind of crazy to me.
feel you. And do you feel like, especially even when they're not, a lot of rappers don't pay their producers, right? And a lot of producers will be the main source of an extremely popular song, but can't even get a return off that. Do you think that there need to be more systems in place, like more, more protection for producers in terms of so they can be treated fairly?
Well, I also feel that producers just gotta be smarter. Like, you can't be out here getting finessed. And I like to think of the Cardi. Damn, I'm blanking on the producer name right now. But you just can't be letting rappers finesse you out your pay, because that's what you earn. That's what you're owed.
And I know you're already just still very young in making music, but do you see yourself like continuing to do this as a off rip all your time? Is that kind of where your mind is at right now?
Yeah, that's 100% where my mind is at. I'm really trying to do something different with music production. I'm really trying to set a new sound and really make it, and really make my family proud, make my brother proud, make 360 proud.
Yeah, shout out 360
for real. Yeah, that's all I'm really thinking about right now. Just music.
And what's your day-to-day schedule in terms of how you make the beats? Are you kind of one of those people that are always working, people that's kind of set aside time to?
It'd be like different days. Like there'll be days where I just like don't feel like making beats, cause that's not like what I really want to do at that second. But like when I feel like making beats, like I'm making.
Yeah, and just going in.
Yeah, I'm just going there. Yeah.
In terms of like collaborators, do you have any specific artists that you really enjoy working with? Because a lot of people have very strong like producer-rapper relationships, right? Like, of course, again, Cardi, Pierre, like Metro Future, like in the past you had No IDJ and a variety of people. Is that kind of where you ideally want to be, or do you want to be able to kind of just work with a variety of artists?
Yeah, I really just want to work with a variety of different people, so I can just see how like my beats and like my sound connect with different artists and how other people enjoy it.
I think that's interesting, because a lot of people are kind of going that route, and it makes them, in my opinion, I think it makes them better producers.
Yeah.
Because you're tested by a variety of different
sounds of different artists. Yeah,
exactly. So we also talk about in New York, right? Is there a lot of unity among producers? Would you say, in your opinion, like a lot of times people share stems, share beats, like kind of work together, a lot of different collaboration. In your opinion, how is those relationships between producers in New York?
Well, for me, people show me love. Like producers show me love in terms of sharing stems and that type of stuff. But I don't know that many different New York City producers to just say that everyone's tight knit, but the producers I know and the producers I talk to and the producers I work with are very tight knit.
And do you feel like it needs to be would you like more unity? Because something we talk about a lot on the show is that New York is a very isolated place, so and a lot of people stick to their own. And there's not too many great producer-artist relations or artist-artist relations. So would you want to see more people working together?
Yeah, more people working together means that there's more music being made and more new music being made. The music is constantly growing, getting bigger as the more people work together. So the more people work together, the bigger this culture can be.
And do you have whose sound do you like the best on your kind of beats?
Like from New York, or like
in general, it could be just anyone. Like what is your ideal sound for the beats you make?
I feel like the sound that like I enjoy the most, like right now on my beats, is obviously choppy. But like in terms of just like future artists that I would want to work with, I want to eventually work with Cardi. I want to work with Pharrell. I want to work with Timberland. Yeah, I want to work with 6ix9ine actually. That I want to work with, but those type of people, just like, and it's not even about like the it's not always about like the sound. It's about like, you know, if I mess with you or not, like I'll work, and especially if like you're good at what you do, if you're talented, I'll definitely mess with you.
I feel you. And something we ask everyone who kind of says on the show is, do you feel like it's harder to drop something and receive it, get a good reception in the city versus anywhere else?
Low key. I feel like people really they don't support how they should. I feel, but people are gonna come regardless. But I feel like certain people just don't really care enough, like, because a lot of people that I've been starting to realize is a lot of people really don't listen to music as much as I do. So the way I'm up on music and new releases, they're not. So if I say I'm dropping like a song like this night, the people who really listen to music will go bump it, but then it'll take
a regular person.
Yeah, it's like the regular person will take them like some time to get to it, and if it's hot, people are gonna listen to it. So.
And in terms of do you see New York City rap headed in a good direction? Like, with the artists that you've been working with the people that you've been collaborating with, do you definitely see like a very positive future, or is it still kind of wacky in a sense? Nah,
I feel like New York's future in terms of music is definitely bright. We have so many different artists and so many different great artists, great producers. So I definitely feel like we're headed in the right direction. I feel like the way Atlanta is holding the music game right now, New York will get its time.
Yeah, type shit. And I know something we also ask everyone comes on the show, and I know this is gonna be incredibly hard, so you can't shout out everyone. Yeah. But if you had to name like your top 5, people you think are most talented coming out of the city right now. Top 5 upcoming.
Eesh. Not in no particular order, but
of course.
Damn, I'm trying to think. Choppy Chan, of course.
Shout out Choppy Chan.
If I could just put like 360 as a whole one spot, I would just do that. 360 as one whole spot. Then I'm gonna put Top Bass, extremely talented.
Shout out Top Bass.
Taliban Fells, Pharrell, Taliban Fells, Mo Beretta's I like a lot, and who else? I'm trying to think who else. How many was that? That was
360.
That was 4.
Yeah, got one more.
4. Damn. I'm trying to think. Oh, Trizzy Flocko.
Shout out Trizzy Flocko, yeah. So what's next for MIR02? Where's your headspace right now? Are you working on something specific? Are you kind of just in the studio every day?
Yeah, I'm working on like a tape I'm trying to create called O2 Universe. I'm trying to get as many talented heads and talented rappers and producers on it as possible. I want it to be just me curating a whole tape of just my beats and like my collab beats with different artists, and I'm really trying to perfect it. That's why it's taking so long.
Are we gonna see heavy 360 features?
Bro, heavy 360 features.
Heavy, all those names you just named. Hopefully, get some features on there.
Yeah.
So besides, how are you progressing in terms of DJing? Do you have anything in plans for that?
I mean, if I get the opportunity to do it, I'll get the opportunity to do it. I'm trying to branch out, see who would let me get the opportunity to just DJ like a party over there, and then I'll see how I like it from there. But DJing is really a thing that I want to look into doing.
Alright. I mean, you know, us here on the podcast, we're going to continue to support and continue to spread the message. And I'm telling you that it's rare to find somebody who's 15 and doing things at such a high caliber, such a high quality level, bro. So, you know, niggas are really watching out for you and continuing to promote your shit.
No doubt.
Only going up from here, feel me?
Yeah.
So thank you for being on the show, feel me?
Of course, thank you.
Of course, we're gonna shout out everybody. We're gonna put all the information in the video. Catch MIR02 coming out soon. We got rumor date?
Nah, I'm just working right now.
Alright, still in the vault. Alright, say that. Well, yeah, thank you everybody. We'll see you. Catch you next time on New York Noise.